My sister invented Grandpa's illness, hijacked his fortune, and wove deceit. My sister invented Grandpa's illness, hijacked his fortune, and wove deceit to keep me exiled, until the courtroom stripped her mask and buried her empire. I never thought I'd be the one typing this confession. Yet the cursor blinks, and the truth demands its space. Let's be blunt. My family professionalized greed, and I was the only employee who refused overtime. What began as helping out mutated into counterfeit records, doctored signatures, and a rewritten will that flipped destinies upside down. I walked away once. When they doubled down, I chose to finish the job they started, only this time with evidence instead of lies. I am Ethan Cole, 30 years old, raised in a house where favoritism wasn't a flaw, it was the foundation. Madison, my sister, 31, was the heir apparent. I was the stagehand whose job was to make her spotlight brighter. She could microwave soup and still be hailed as a prodigy. I could rebuild the lawnmower engine, and somehow I was showing off. When I started earning, the guilt campaigns launched. My parents had a single slogan they applied to every relative: family first, noble on paper. In practice it meant, Ethan's paycheck is communal property. Ethan, Madison is still figuring things out, can you float her rent? Ethan, we're short this month, can you cover the electric? Ethan, we're booking a Miami villa for the family, sorry, no room for you, but you'll help, right? I paid. For years, muscle memory from childhood, affection is transactional. Then one night my father cornered me in the garage. You owe us for 18 years of food and shelter. Something inside me clicked off like a breaker. No shouting, no drama. I looked him dead in the eye. You're right, debt settled. I packed 2 duffels, transferred my job to a branch 4 states away, and vanished. Cutting contact wasn't revenge, it was oxygen. My grandparents, Henry and Evelyn Cole, were the only adults who ever saw me clearly. Summers on their 200-acre spread were my real education. Grandpa Henry, retired mechanical engineer, believed duct tape and patience could resurrect anything. Behind the barn stood his Henry Cole Innovation Lab, a corrugated shed that looked like a tornado hit a hardware store. Half the floor space was tools, half was glorious chaos. His inventions were insane for a man pushing 80. Solar drip irrigation, rigs welded from scrap rebar. Hand-built soil probe circuits that texted moisture data to a flip phone. A biodiesel reactor that turned cafeteria grease into tractor fuel. Money never interested him. Impact did. I'd perch on a milk crate while he torqued bolts with hands like cedar roots. Farming isn't luck, Ethan. It's physics wearing overalls. I carried spiral notebooks, graphing rainfall, sketching pump curves, asking questions he treated like PhD theses. Those summers taught me root cause analysis before I ever heard the term. One star-drenched night outside the lab, oil rag in hand, he said, "One day this all passes to you. Make it smarter, make it matter." I was 16, I laughed. Thought it was grandpa hyperbole. Fast forward to my mid-20s. Career swallowed time, travel blurred borders, 6 years evaporated. I still dialed the ranch landline every few months. Then one day, dead tone. I texted Mom. Need grandma's new cell, lost the ranch number. 4 days later, they're in assisted living. No visitors, focus on your life. They're hurt you abandoned us. No address, no photos, just a digital door slammed. I mailed letters, small care packages, asked neighbors. Silence. Every unanswered envelope felt like proof I was the villain they painted. I pictured Grandpa at his workbench, wondering why I ghosted. Eventually, I stopped trying. Self-preservation, not surrender. You can't keep bleeding on a locked gate. Then, mid-afternoon, mid-project, unknown caller. Is this Ethan Cole? Yeah. I'm calling about Henry Cole. I'm sorry he passed last week. The room tilted. Not grief first, rage. Because if the lawyer was right, my parents had orchestrated a 2-way exile. They told me Grandpa was too fragile for visitors. They told Grandpa I was ashamed of farm roots. He died thinking I didn't care. The lawyer gave an address I knew by heart, the ranch. I drove through the night. Dawn painted the fields gold. The house looked unchanged, wraparound porch, same crooked mailbox. I hesitated on the mat, rehearsing apologies for ghosts. Door opened. Grandma Evelyn, thinner, steel gray eyes sharper than memory. So the prodigal finally surfaces. Hi, Grandma, I came the second I heard. You didn't come when he was breathing. I tried, calls, letters. Mom said you were both in a home, no visitors. Her arms stayed crossed. Don't lie, Ethan. Henry called you every Sunday. You never picked up. She marched to the antique phone table, yanked open a drawer, produced a spiral notebook, corners curled, pages yellow. This is the number he dialed until his hands shook too hard. Grandpa's handwriting. But the digits were wrong, not even close. This isn't my number, never has been. I showed her my phone, same contact since high school, texts to Mom begging for updates. Grandma's face caved, not anger, recognition. They told us you changed it, said you were too busy for hayseed relatives. She sank into the recliner. Henry sat on that porch every Sunday, waiting for a son who never answered a wrong number. The notebook trembled in her lap like evidence in a murder trial. Who told you about the will reading? The lawyer called me direct. Good, she whispered. Then you'll be here when they arrive. Who's they? Your parents and Madison. She dialed before I could protest. Voice like flint. Tomorrow, noon. Bring Madison, this isn't a request. She hung up. They think they're coming for money. They're coming for judgment. I didn't sleep. At 4 a.m. I walked the property, past the windmill Grandpa rebuilt after the 09 tornado, past the greenhouse where we once grafted experimental tomatoes. Every corner held a memory they tried to erase. Morning. Grandma brewed coffee strong enough to strip paint. They lied to both of us for years, she said. Told us you were chasing city glamour, embarrassed by the workshop. Told you we were locked in a nursing home. They're surgeons with stories. Henry stopped eating right, she continued. Kept saying, he'll call when he's ready. Tires on gravel. Same silver SUV from every forced family photo. Madison first, designer sunglasses, red stilettos, smirk sharp enough to cut glass. Parents behind, dad in pressed chinos, mom in practiced humility. Grandma's voice from the doorway. Let them in. Living room felt smaller with their egos. Mom's syrupy smile. Ethan, you came. Miracles do happen. Dad's nod. Good to see you, son. Can't echo the sentiment. Madison scanned me head to toe. City didn't buy you a personality, I see. Family didn't buy you decency. They sat like they owned the deed. Mom crossed ankles. Today's about closure. Grandpa's estate is complicated, Dad cut in. We've managed carefully. Madison gets her fair share, roughly $12 million per the draft Henry showed me years ago. The rest will steward. Ethan, you've built your own life. Grandma hadn't spoken. She watched like a hawk measuring wind. Madison leaned forward. You shouldn't even be here, you abandoned him. Funny, I heard he spent his final year dialing a fake number. Who supplied it? Silence sharp enough to draw blood. Mom's grin cracked. Ethan, drama doesn't suit you. Predictability suits you. Knock. Mr. Bennett, family attorney for 40 years, black suit, zero warmth. Briefcase clack on coffee table like a gavel. As per the last will and testament of Henry Coles, to Evelyn, the homestead lifetime stipend. To Madison, Pine Hollow cabin per attached letter incorporated by reference. Madison's smile faltered. To Ethan. The Henry Cole Innovation Lab, land, equipment, patents, active grants, and the remainder of the estate. Air sucked out of the room. Mr. Bennett produced a sealed envelope, Grandpa's handwriting. Read aloud to all present. To my family, by the time you hear this, I'm Ash. I know about the lies, the wrong number. The care home fable, the shame narrative. I know who built the wall, Ethan tried. I know who stopped him. I spent my life proving ideas with prototypes, not promises. Greed doesn't prototype, it steals. So I rewrote the will. Ethan gets the balance. He's the only one who ever built anything that helped a stranger for free. Madison gets Pine Hollow, small, old, honest. Let it remind her what greed costs. Madison erupted. This is fraud, you coerced him. From 3 states away, Mom slapped the table. You've torn this family apart. You tore it. I just refused to glue the pieces with lies. Dad tried reason. Let's be adults, split equitably. Equitably is what the will says. Grandma rose, small frame, towering presence. I listened to your fiction for years. Henry saw through it. Now I do. You're not welcome here, not ever. Don't look for my will either. Mom threatened lawsuits. Dad pleaded legacy. Madison's heels fired like gunshots as she stormed out. Door slam, engine roar, dust cloud. Grandma exhaled. Done, for 5 days peace. Then Mr. Bennett called. They're contesting, alleging diminished capacity, submitted medical records, schizophrenia, dementia, dated 8 months pre-death. Impossible. Grandpa was sketching variable speed wind turbines weeks before the stroke. That night, Grandma and I spread documents across the oak table like war maps. "They'll drag us through mud," she said. "They already are. Now we hose them off with facts." Next morning, she dialed Dad on speaker. "Thomas, I saw the filing, forging health records. Even for you, this is vile." "Mother, we're protecting Henry's true intent." "You mean Madison's intent." Mom jumped in. "We're worried about your memory too, Evelyn. You misplaced your glasses for days." Grandma ended the call, hands shaking. "They want me to doubt my own mind." Mr. Bennett arrived with the forged reports, hospital letterhead, neurologist signature, lab values. Convincing enough to fool a judge. I couldn't sleep. Midnight, I slipped into the innovation lab. Same smells, cutting oil, cedar shavings, ozone from old motors. Desk untouched, blueprints left, pencils right. Lockable file cabinet under the bench. Key still on the nail by the window. Folder 2025. Halfway through, sealed hospital envelope. Inside, authentic cognitive exams, signed Dr. Whitaker, 3 months pre-death. Patient alert, oriented, no deficits. Grandpa kept receipts for everything, including his own clarity. I scanned every page, triple backed up. Mr. Bennett's eyes lit. "This buries them." Counterclaim filed, hospital subpoenaed. Response: no such records exist. Signature belongs to a physician retired 2018. Civil suit followed, fraud, forgery, malicious prosecution. Court day. My parents looked like thrift store versions of themselves. Madison in jeans 2 sizes too big. Judge, do counsel deny submitting fabricated evidence? Their lawyer stuttered. Mom tried tears. Judge wasn't buying. Ruling same day, contest dismissed. Will upheld. Opposing parties pay all fees, fines, and face criminal referral. Outside, Madison sobbed into Dad's shoulder. Mom stared at me, makeup streaked, mouth open, no words left. Grandma and I stood on the courthouse steps. Wind whipped her silver hair. Henry always said paper beats talk. Today it did. Back at the ranch, I returned the originals to the cabinet, locked it, rehung the key. The lab would live. So would every lesson Grandpa welded into scrap metal and honesty. Madison got the cabin 1,200 square feet, leaky roof, 1 working toilet. She listed it the next week. Sold for $42,000. I kept the lab, the land, the patents, and the moral high ground my family tried to auction off. Sometimes I sit on the same milk crate, sketching upgrades to the solar pumps. The wind carries hay and possibility. Grandpa's voice still echoes. Make it smarter, make it matter. I am, and for the first time the family slogan is mine alone, build something that outlasts the liars. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.